Welcome, Professor. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon for this session.
Thank you.
I'm just going to give you the floor and let you get started on your presentation.
Fantastic. So, first of all, thank you so much for the invitation to participate. I am incredibly honored to be a part of this initiative. I am so happy that you're doing this in this moment that is so needed. And I wanted to thank also IE Business School for inviting me, and more importantly, inviting us to talk about something that may provide some value in these moments of uncertainty. I want to thank also every single one of you, because I am so glad that we have the opportunity to connect today. And listen, my only mission today is to provide value to you. I may not be able to accomplish that, but I really want to help. I am definitely not in a position to say that I know what has to be done, but for the last 12 years, I've been working very hard to try to understand how to create projects, how to become better, and how to at least try to move towards my goals and try to understand human nature and see how to help others. So hopefully today is useful for all of you. I have a ton of materials. There's so much I want to share. There's so many things that I want to learn from you too. It's important to note that I think, probably I could learn more from your stories and from your personal projects than just talking about our ideas. But it's very important also that we connect afterwards. Okay, so let's use this opportunity to build a new friendship, and maybe afterwards with the different contacts that we're going to have. I will leave my WhatsApp number. I will leave everything. So hopefully we become friends and we can connect in the future. So I wanted to start sharing a short video that allows you to better know about myself. And then we are going to talk about innovation, about crisis response, about entrepreneurship, and about how to have a powerful mindset for this moment. And I want to know all your questions. I will try to check your questions every now and then, and I will try to answer as soon as possible. And also when I finish, we will have some time for Q&A, okay? All right, so I'm gonna share my screen right now.
The best person you can be, and you will live forever. Thank you very much. Super President.
I think that the most important thing for us to understand in this crisis is who we are and where are we trying to go. Okay, and this may sound cliche, but a lot of times we just don't have the certainty of who do we want to become in our lives, and more importantly, in a situation like this, what is our role? Okay, so I'm going to share with you a lot of ideas and a little bit of my background, and hopefully it's useful for you. Okay, right. So as you know, my name is Sentís. I am 31 years old. I owe everything to my father. He was an amazing journalist, and he unfortunately passed away due to pancreatic cancer a few years ago. And he taught me almost everything that I know, and we built the project that we are working on together. And it's really sad that because of his departure now, life is definitely worse. And I know that for a lot of people that have lost some of their loved ones, life is sometimes difficult. But the more important thing is, what do we do to make them proud, and how do we continue moving forward? So I have been working on many different fields for the last 12 years. Now I have the luck to work with an amazing team and to collaborate with a lot of people from all over the world. I have 12 years of working experience. We've done projects in communication, consultancy, marketing, international relations, corporate affairs, public affairs, and many others. I am Global Shaper at the World Economic Forum. I am contributor to the World Tourism Organization of the UN. I have the privilege also to lecture in IE and other universities. And the most important thing that I've ever done has been to learn how to provide value to the others and how to communicate, so together we can do something beautiful. And the thing is that when I was more or less 18 years old, I realized that I was not using my life properly, that I was not doing all I could. And I thought that I was very grateful for having such an amazing family and such an amazing opportunity to be living in this time where everything is available for us and we have so many opportunities. But I was not doing all I could. So from that moment on, I tried to learn everything I could, every skill, every piece of knowledge that could allow me to become a better version of myself, try to become a better son, a better friend, a better professional. And of course, I am still very far away from being perfect, but I definitely try to improve. And I will share with you some of the resources that I use to try to become better, okay? So these are some of the clients that we have worked for, many different sectors in many different fields. And here are examples of the projects that we have done, from events, from delegations to all kinds of projects in different fields. But what I want to focus today on is in yourself. So what we are going to do is to go through a strategy that can allow you to understand how to go from the point that we are at right now, no matter if you have been hit by the crisis economically or not, how is it affecting you? We're going to just think of where we are at and how can we develop a plan that is going to be actionable, and what are the skills that are going to help us to achieve our goals. These are a lot of crazy things that I have been doing also, just to show you that I'm definitely pretty dumb. Look at the stupid things that I do. For example, bothering cows, kissing Mimi, having lizards on my face, and many other things. But just to show you that I have been curious during all my life, and I have been trying to learn and to improve and to experience many things. And what I'm going to do today is to just share the best advice that I can and the best ideas that I can. First of all, just to let you know what we are doing right now, we are launching the World Impact Alliance, which is a social impact and innovation private initiative that allows to find and apply solutions to problems in healthcare, environment, poverty, and education. We are focused on the SDGs of the UN, and we are bringing together amazing individuals just like you that are doing a lot of social impact work in different parts of the world. We have already members from more than 90 different countries, and I think that we have some of these members in today's session, so I'm very happy to welcome you all. People from different parts of the world, like India, Nigeria, Egypt, and many others, and these people that are doing amazing things. Here we have my friend Prez. She is a teacher in Nigeria, and these are her students, and she sent me the most beautiful video ever of the kids sending me a message, and she's part of the network. He is Percy Jackson. He is a very famous a teacher in Ghana, and he became famous because he dances to motivate his students, and he got viral. He's everywhere, and it's so amazing what he's doing to motivate kids to go to school, because as you know, in Africa there's a lot of kids that are not motivated, or families that are not supporting that. He is appearing very small, but he is my friend Javier Goyanetxe. He is the founder of Ecommerce, a brand that uses recycled materials from the ocean to create fashion, and he is doing absolutely amazing to help the world become better. And these are the activities that we're working on. This is the Social Impact Innovation Forum that we're going to launch in 2021. And let me adjust this a little bit. Okay, there we go. So these are some of the activities that we're working on. A top 500 influencers for a better world list, just like the Forbes list, but with people that are doing something to make the world better. We're compiling solutions, so we can look for the right solutions for the right problems. There's so many times that the solution exists already, but we're not implementing it. And also we are trying to provide some impact investing opportunities. So people that are creating projects that are socially responsible, we're going to try to help them to find the right investment. Okay, so these are some of the solutions that exist that are great. I don't know if you're familiar with it. This is the Life Straw project that allows to filter dirty water. This is a net that allows the solid waste coming out from drains from factories to stop before getting to the river, and then before getting to the ocean. So as you see, there's so many solutions, and we're trying to compile them, as well as the list of people that are doing something good for the world. And the whole idea that we have is just to try to impulse action and to be more effective and scaling solutions. So many projects and many ideas that I don't have enough time to share with you, but of course, if you're interested and you want to join or you want to be a part of it, there's a website, which is waa.world, and you can apply to become a member. We will be very happy to have you. And I think the most important thing that we have to do is to see what can we do to provide value to the world before we die. I will share with about that in a minute. Okay, so we are in a very weird situation right now because of the COVID crisis. And I think that mindset is absolutely vital. And we need to prepare for the worst and work for the best. And this means that we need to just think that anything bad that is happening may look bad, but it could be worse. And at the same time, just act in a way that is possibly going to help our situation become better. We're going to try to make the situation the best it can be, while just thinking that it could be worse than it is. And what I am trying to stress here is the fact that even if the world is collapsing, the thing that you have to focus on is what can you do, right? So what can I do as an individual? What can I do to take care of my family, to prosper, even if the world is collapsing? Because at the end of the day, you are the only person that you can control. You are the only person that is with you from when you're born to the last day, when you wake up, when you're ill. You're the only person that is really going to be with you. So the only thing that you can do is to actually control your thoughts, your words, and your actions to try to improve the situation. Okay? If you're blaming others and you're trying to generate confusion or generate even more conflict, it's definitely not going to help anyone. Just think of what you can do to improve yourself and the others. And this is a good opportunity if you think about it, because it allows you to improve yourself, improve your teams, improve your network, your value proposition, and your systems. While in normal situations, you're so busy working or with clients or doing your activity that there's many things that you cannot just go and do and improve. Okay, an example of that is the fact that I'm learning Arabic during the quarantine, because learning a language requires a lot of effort, a lot of sacrifice, and a lot of focus. And for 10 years, I've wanted to learn Arabic, and I never found the time to do so. So now that the world has stopped, it's great because there's not so much expectation for me to be in different places, so I can just focus better, concentrate myself on something that I want to do that requires time. And if we all do that, regardless of it's improving our organization, our family business, our own personal business, or improving ourselves, we're going to come out of this quarantine or this lockdown stronger and more prepared for anything that can happen in the future. And we have to be prepared for anything. Unfortunately, life is complicated. We all know that. And we were talking about climate change every day before the COVID crisis. And now climate change is not an issue, but it is an issue. And also there's many, many problems that can occur that can affect our lives. And I want you to at least spend a few minutes thinking about the possibility of those things happening and how could you respond. For example, you could get to a position, I hope that you're not, but you could get to a position of zero income. You could have health conditions. You could lose your savings. There's moments where there's economic crisis that all the savings in your bank are gone. And you cannot expect that, but sometimes it happens. And we need to just think of all the risks that we may have to avoid future problems. Your industry could collapse, because you have been working in an industry for 20 years does not mean that it's going to remain there. We live in a VUCA environment of a lot of volatility, where the only thing that we are sure of is that everything is going to change, but we don't know in which direction. So any industry, any job, anything that you have could be gone. And I love when people have these beautiful business plans where it says that next year we're going to grow this and next year we're going to grow that. It's like, perfect, but you just don't know. And suddenly COVID came and everybody was shocked. But in reality, I had already plans for these situations because I knew that it could happen. Not that I did amazing or that this is not affecting me. Of course it is affecting me. But at least I knew that this could happen, and I didn't spend so much time just blaming the universe for the problem, but just trying to adjust to the new reality. We are definitely 100% going to experience massive cybersecurity attacks. So please just be prepared for that. Try to protect your information, do backups, try to understand how cybersecurity works. I don't understand anything, I have to say, but the single thing that I'm sure of is that a problem like the COVID has affected everyone. Imagine in a 5G world where everything is connected and in the Internet of Things world, if we have a massive cybersecurity problem, we may stop the whole economy for once and for all. So we have to be careful, and I just want you to think of all these risks that we may have, and some even personal. A lot of people think that I will never be cheated by my wife or my husband, or I will never get a divorce, and suddenly it happens. I don't want you to divorce. I want you to be happy and healthy, and I want you to be successful. But please just think that these things can happen and try to act so you can avoid the bad situation, okay? All right, so a lot of things that we can do in the quarantine. I understand that it's a shock for a lot of people and it's difficult to adjust, and then you have to work from home and it's weird and there's kids there, and I know it's not the normal situation, but please don't say that you're bored. Don't ever get bored in quarantine. It's a blessing that you have time, and please use it properly. So I am sharing with you a lot of ideas of things that you can do. Don't get overwhelmed. Just think of, okay, maybe this inspires me to focus a little bit more on this or on the other thing. So you can use this time to be self-aware. We run so much in our lives that we never understand each other. We never understand ourselves. We don't spend enough time knowing who we are and what we want to accomplish. So it is a great moment to do self-awareness, self-development, restructuring our lives, restructuring our economy and business in case it's needed because of the situation. Thinking of new business models that may make sense for the crisis. There's a lot of products that are in higher demand than before, and a lot of other products that are in lower demand. So think of new businesses that you could be doing in this new world, new career paths, systems and workflow. I think it's a great moment to improve the systems of your company or your project or your own personal projects. Also, it's a great moment to learn, to understand what's going on and see what your role is, to help others, connect with your loved ones. You can organize seminars, reach out to new people, do digital marketing, revitalize your network, rethink your values, and enjoy what you love. So there's so many things you can do. Please do not be bored. I implore you to not be bored during the quarantine. And I think that we all have to start from the very, very basic, which is we have to be grateful, because this problem is affecting a lot of people, and we definitely have to have our hearts with the victims of the pandemic and more importantly with the people that are suffering in the first person. But regardless, there's so many problems happening at the same time. And before the COVID problem, we had so many other issues. I was talking with the organizers of the event about the 1 billion people that suffer because of extreme poverty or human rights violations or not having access to water or to electricity. There's so many people that are living in very difficult conditions, and we all struggle in one way or another. We all have problems. We all have to see that, regardless of our starting position, we need to do our best to live the best life we can be, to live the best life we can live, and to be the best person we can be. And what this means is that, I feel incredibly grateful because I am healthy, and because I have a fantastic family, and because I am surrounded by a lot of amazing people. But, I may also sometimes feel worried about different things. Now, I know that I am grateful because I know I am incredibly lucky. And there's people that have, better positions or worse positions. But the most important thing is to be grateful for all the things that you do have, and to understand that life is not fair. Life is not, a beautiful, presentation of people having what they deserve. It's not about what you deserve. It's about the situation that you are in and what you can do to improve it. Okay, so please be grateful, never take anything for granted, and deserve your luck. Do to deserve your luck, and need the least you can. And this means that if you're able to need less things in your life, you're going to be wealthier. So imagine that I want to become very successful in business and I want to make a lot of money, but then I spend all my money in luxury cars and big homes and things like that. Well, probably what's going to happen is that in the end, even if I make a lot of money, I'm going to have to spend most of it or even all of it. Now, if I can reduce my life expenses, I am going to have more time to just do the things that I enjoy, and I am going to avoid a lot of pressure. Because one thing that a lot of people don't know is that money requires a lot of effort, and people think that if you have a successful model, you're going to make a lot of money and then that's it. But the reality is, the more money you make, the more commitments you make, the more responsibilities you have, the more problems you have, and the more stress you have. So if you can avoid wanting to make some money, then you're going to be able to live more freely and maybe do more of the things that you want to do. I would like to recommend a beautiful documentary to all of you, which is called For Sama. It's a documentary done by this woman right here in the war of Syria. And it is incredible how people can adapt to the worst circumstances. And I think that we all have to feel grateful for living in having shelter and having food and all that. And even if we don't have it, we just need to try to see how to adapt, because humans are incredible and are able to do amazing things. But we definitely need to have the right mindset. The documentary shows how a family adapts to the war and how to adapt to a world that is collapsing, and how they can even remain positive and strong. And sometimes we just complain about such stupid things that makes me very sad. So ideally, this gives some perspective. I think we need to have a life that has three main pillars, and I don't know if you guys are going to agree with me, but I believe if you don't have one of these three pillars, your life is going to not be as meaningful as it could have, or you're going to feel bad at some point. So the idea is that we need a life that helps us to save the world, make money, and be happy. And what I mean by this is that we need to do something to provide value to the others. We need to help others and to provide value to communities, because otherwise we're going to feel that our life was not meaningful. We're going to see ourselves as selfish, and there's a lot of times that we're going to just feel that what we're doing is meaningless. Now, if we don't make enough money, our lives are going to be very difficult. We need good life conditions. And even now, when you struggle with health conditions, then you still need money to take care of yourself. So money is fundamental. We live in an economic planet, and I don't want you to want to be rich, but I really want you to prosper, to make sure that you have the right living conditions. So we're going to learn about some skills that allow you to prosper better and to have a better economic situation. And the last thing, just because you made a lot of money does not mean that you're going to be happy. And just because you're helping others And just because you enjoy helping others and you feel good when you do that does not mean that you're going to be in mental inner peace and you're going to be happy. Happiness requires that you do the things that you like, that you are with the people that you love, that you avoid the things that make you feel anxious and stressed. So what we want is to really have a balance of a life that has value for the others, that is economically in good conditions, and also that is happy for ourselves. And I hope that you all agree with me, and I will give you some ideas for each of these parts. Okay, so regardless where you are, we need a strategy. And what I wanted to do is first start with the goal setting. Who am I? How am I going to respond to the challenge, and how am I going to direct my life towards the goal? And then what is the strategy? How do we push our project or our offer? How do we sell, and how we develop? And I will go one by one. Okay, so the first thing that we need to know is that we are all different. We all have different goals, different ambitions, and different expectations. So we cannot just hear to whatever guru or whoever telling us, this is what you want to do, or your business has to be like this, or your career has to be like this. And you go to a university and then you start working in a multinational company. There's so many paths. So what I would like you to understand is that you can create your own game, a game that works for you, a game that allows you to achieve the goals that you have in the way that you consider the most suitable for yourself. So we need to start with self-awareness. We need to understand, for example, that I am incredibly bad with mathematics. Okay, I am awful with numbers. When I see an Excel document, I just run away. So I understand that, and I try to do things that have nothing to do with that, and I try to adapt to what I consider to be my strengths, or the places where I consider I can provide more value. So don't think that you have to know everything, or that you have to do whatever the trend is, or whatever the university tells you, or whatever the common knowledge tells you. You can create a game that can work for you. An example of that would be, if you're clear that you want to travel the world and you enjoy traveling the world, and it's one of the most important things for you, then probably you could consider working in the tourism industry. Regardless of how, if you want to be working on a personal project, or working for an airline, or for a hotel chain, it doesn't matter. But if you really love traveling, if you work in the tourism industry, you're going to be able to travel way more than in other industries. And I have students telling me, I want to travel the world, and so what I'm going to do is to work for a bank for 20, 30 years, so I make money, and then afterwards I will travel. And the reality is that what you want to do is to start the journey as soon as possible. And if you like to travel, you don't have to wait for 30 years. You just try to adapt your game plan, your career path, or your business to something that really has the things that you love and you enjoy, and that the things where you can provide the most value. So create the game plan that works for you. And here there are some questions that I would like you to ask to yourself. And I will share this presentation because it's a very long one, and I want you to have it. So you will have, I believe, the documents, and you can ask me for any question whenever you want. So the questions that I would like you to ask yourself is, what is the purpose of your life? Okay, if you were about to die and you look backwards, what does make you feel proud of yourself? What are the goals for your life? Not only my goal for tomorrow, but the goals for the short, the mid, and the long term. What do you like? What do you know? What skills do you have? What resources do you have? What do you need in life? What do you want in life? What are your strengths and your weaknesses, and why? And I think if you answer all these questions, you will realize that you are very, very unique, that you're a very unique person. And so don't follow other people's paths, even if they look to be successful, because there's no way on earth they are just like you, and that you would enjoy their life probably, because you're just so different. Maybe you want to live in the city center, some other people want to live in the outskirts, maybe you enjoy more nature, maybe you enjoy being active. We are all different. And regardless if we're talking about professional issues or personal issues, we are so different that we need to understand ourselves. So please do that. Okay, strategy. how do we go from where we are to where we want to go? Well, there's many things that I would like to talk about here, but I'm going to try to simplify it in a very economic perspective. First of all, you have a need, needs and goals, right? So you need to survive the economic crisis right now, or you need to buy a house, or you need to just have the proper conditions to take care of your life. Also, you have some goals. You would like to achieve something. You would like to become a successful entrepreneur or whatever it is, right? So needs and goals, that's the beginning, because we need to know where we're going. And then we have to see what is the value proposition that we are offering. What can I do for the market? What can I do for the others? And if you don't know it yet, there's so many things that you could be doing. There's so many services, so many things that you could be doing for companies, for institutions. And if you don't know ideas about that, I can share with you some more later. Then you have to prepare your presentation. So imagine that you decided to create a service company, and you're going to service businesses online, helping them doing graphic design or research or any kind of online service. Great. So now you need to prepare a presentation. Okay, this is who I am, this is what I do, and this is what I can do for you and how I can provide value to you. So when you have that, then you have to promote it both to B2C if you're going to reach to big audiences, or B2B if you're just going to talk to industries. And then you need to have meetings, you need to present proposals, and you need to do follow-up until you get to the possibility of closing deals, or if it's not okay, then you can go and find another potential client. I'm going very fast here, but I will stress a lot on sales and marketing in the next slides, okay? But just to have a strategy from the beginning, from what I need in my life, from the value that I can provide, to having a presentation of the services that I provide, to selling as much as possible so we get the source of income that we need, okay? Sorry for that. Okay. So, public relations, marketing, and public speaking. It is absolutely impossible to achieve your goals without connections, and so it is vital to expand your relations and to make sure that you provide value to your network. A lot of people ask me, how do you get connections? And there's many ways. It is very natural for extroverts, and sometimes it's more difficult for introverts, but regardless, we can all create a powerful network of people that are going to help us and that we can help too. In order to meet new people, you can go on LinkedIn, you can go on Facebook, you can go on Twitter, you can participate in online events, you can participate in physical events, you can send emails to everyone that you want to meet. You can do so many things, like just go to the door of the company that you want to work for and just start randomly knowing people. There's so many things you can do. So the most important part here is, who do I need to know, and what am I going to do to be useful for them? If I only demand help from the others and I only want them to help me and I never do anything in exchange, it's impossible to achieve anything. So it is vital that we make sure that we know the community that is right for us, we create a strong network, we keep in touch with them, and we always offer our help and our support. And if we can introduce them to someone, if we can give them information, if we can even work for free, it's okay. The more value we provide to the others, the better it's going to be. So this is an example of the communities, so you can have a main community of the people that it's crucial for you. Imagine that you're working with small business owners in your community. Okay, great. So you can try to build a big network of small business owners, but also there's some other fields that are crucial for you. So just try to make sure that you have the network active. And in terms of positioning, how do you go from not being known and not having any trust or any respect or any actual leverage to go and deliver your services and to convince people to hire you? There's a lot of things that you can do to position yourself, to establish yourself as an authority. So an example of that would be how to build a portfolio. When I started my business, I didn't know anything about this, but I realized that everybody was asking me, okay, you say that you offer these services, but I want to see the examples of the things that you have already done. Who have you worked for? And it's awful because you just started, so you don't have a lot of clients, or you may not have even a single client. So how can I provide this certainty and allow them to trust me if I don't have a big portfolio of case studies that show that I am amazing and that I can deliver a great service? Well, what I started doing was to even work for free for a lot of brands that were important for my future. So I remember the first project that I did was a voiceover for a big company here in Spain. And normally they would have paid us, but what I did was to first connect with them on LinkedIn. Second, get a meeting. Third, sell my thing. Fourth, they didn't like it or they didn't want it. Then I convinced them to do something for free, which was this voiceover. So we paid a voiceover artist, we paid for the studio, we did the video, we did the translation, we did everything. We spent like $500, but from that moment on, we have already worked for this big brand. And that allowed us to convince the next one and the next one and the next one. So for a very long time, I delivered services or for free or sometimes in exchanges, because that allowed us to build a portfolio. And I think it's funny when people say that, you know, I am not willing to do a free internship. I am not willing to work for free. Look, I have been working for 12 years already for more than 100 organizations, and I still do a lot of things for free. So, you know, we all need to do it. It's been like that forever. Just think of when we have artisans, and for the longest time, they were just trying to learn how to do this. So if you think that you just went out of university or you just went out of a master's and you are already amazing and you deserve the best, salary, is like, great, you probably are amazing, but that does not mean that you can provide any value to the market. You need skills and you need to have experience, and you need to show that you have those skills and those experiences. So my recommendation would be, in order to position yourself, to build a portfolio of previous experiences. Imagine that you're a graphic designer. Cool, design. If it's not for a brand, do designs on your own. You're a researcher, do your research projects. So when they ask you, what have you done? You can show them. Even if it's not for a big client, it doesn't matter. The most important thing is that whatever your craft is, whatever you're offering, you show them that you can do it, that you're good at it, and you put a lot of effort and time into it. So in order to position yourself, not only you need the portfolio, you also need to learn a lot. You need to learn about who is who in that environment, who are your competitors, who are your potential collaborators, also who are the most important influencers, and you need to learn about the craft. You need to be very good at it and very, very knowledgeable at it. Also, a recommendation would be to always go in the offense, meaning don't expect people to go call you, because probably no one knows that you exist. And the funny thing is that we all have this feeling that, because we are 24/7 with ourselves, and because we're doing a lot of work and preparing things for our own projects, we just think that the world should know. We just think that the world is probably just waiting and they should call us. But the thing is, 99.9% of the people that are your potential target don't know anything about you. So you have to go in the offense. So don't complain and don't cry because the market is slow or because we have this COVID crisis and we're not getting clients. Don't ever complain. Just think, what can I do now to move forward? How can I make myself known? How can I make myself closer to the people that are possibly going to be partnered with me? And how do I show them that I am really trustworthy, that I'm really good, that I can really provide a lot of value? We have to go in the offense. That's absolutely for sure. Participate in all the events, collaborate with media so you have more exposure. Of course, have business cards. I don't know if you guys have or not. A lot of times they tell me that because they are not experts already, or because they are not a part of any firm in particular, they don't have to have business cards. But it's absolutely wrong. You need a business card regardless. At least imagine that you're working in the field of international relations. Great. So your name, international relations. You're not saying that you're the biggest expert in the world. You're not saying that you're amazing. You're saying that you work in that field and that you can help them or that you can collaborate with them. If you don't have a business card, especially in the physical world, not the one that we're living now, but whenever this is over, you need to go to events and you need to share your business card. It is very difficult to know people without the card, but when you have it, it's as simple as just going and just showing your business card to the other person. And the natural response is always to give back theirs. It's very, very unpolite when you go and say, hey, can you give me your business card? And you don't give anything in exchange. It's really bad. And I can tell you, when I go to an event and because of whatever reason I run out of business cards, it's way more difficult. And, positioning is also something that you have to do for the long term. So you have to understand that sometimes it takes 1, 2, 3, 4 years to go from knowing a potential client or knowing someone that you want to collaborate with to actually doing something. So I can give you an example. There's a big organization that I wanted to be a part of. I saw their event and it's a very closed event, so I could not participate. And I was very, very mad. So I got in touch with them and I started to be, to become friends with them. But not only that, we were helping them with a lot of things. So whenever we could help them, we would try. So after 3 years, for the first time, they invited me to a small event. I got a great relation with most of them, and after all that time, they invited me to the big event, to the one that is closed. So it took 3 years for me to go from wanting to participate in the event to actually being able to do it, and another more year until they called me to speak in one of their events. So from not being even able to participate to speaking in their event, I spent 4 years trying to help them. And I think that this is a good reflection of how important it is to be connected with the people that you need to, but also provide as much value as possible. And if nothing happens, it's okay, but just to try to help. And you will see that if you're always helpful and available for people, things are going to happen one way or another. Okay, now I want to talk a little bit about the skills that you need. This is the title of the presentation today, and there's so much that we can talk about. I'm going to try to share some of the skills that I believe are useful and some ways to learn these skills, and also some tools that are on the internet that are going to help you to be more productive and to achieve your goals. So first of all, there's so many skills out there, so you don't need to learn them all, but I want you to understand why skills are important. Now we have all the information available, and you have people with 1 master, 2 masters, people with PhDs, you have people with a lot of knowledge, and Google has all the knowledge and Siri has all the knowledge. But the problem is not the information that you have, is how you process it, how you collaborate with teams, how you develop projects, how to launch initiatives. So the most important thing for businesses is that you as an employee, or if you are a service provider, you as a potential service provider has the skills that can actually provide value to their operation. Okay, and what I mean by skills, I'm talking about the possibility of creating projects, how to develop leadership, how to do public relations, public speaking, how to do money management for your own and for companies, how to find a job, and that means also how to do better interviews and all that. That is a skill that you need. And a lot of times we just try to see a couple of videos on the internet and just go there. There's a lot that we can learn about any skill that can allow us to prosper better. Negotiation is vital. And also there's some others that I want to emphasize on, which are some of the creative abilities, for example, graphic design, video editing, and all that. Emotional intelligence abilities that are absolutely vital. Empathy is probably the most important one, I will show you now. And event organization, writing, research, e-commerce. There's so many things that are very useful for any professional, no matter what you're going to do, no matter if you're going to be a politician, a journalist, a human rights activist. It's okay, you need skills and it's going to help you. So that's my argument, and then we can see how to do it better. And I think that this is a small presentation of basically the ones that I believe can help anyone, which are marketing and e-commerce. Just think of any politician is always doing marketing, right? E-commerce is vital because it allows you to sell services or products online so you can make a living. And I think that for Africa, it's going to be absolutely huge. Anything digital and technology is also going to help you to have better workflow and also to connect. And also it is a huge field where most of the jobs are going to have a more opportunity here. And also sales. I will talk about sales in a second, but sales is vital and people don't talk enough about it. Also with public speaking and communication, there's so much that we can do to practice alone or to just follow YouTube videos, or we can find a coach. But being able to speak properly, to express yourself, to communicate your message, to speak in front of audiences is vital. One example of what we're doing is collaborating with different schools, and we have implemented this compulsory public speaking class to all the kids between 12 and 16 years old. They are all going to have public speaking 1 hour per week. So when they finish those 4 years, they're definitely going to be very good speaking to the camera, speaking to others in small rooms, and speaking in big rooms in different languages. Okay, so I want you to be the best you can be. I realized when I was like 19 years old that I was wasting a lot of time, and I thought that I really needed to make the most out of my time to achieve my goals and also to provide value to the others. And so I decided to be kind of like in an exam with myself every single day, examining myself if I was good enough or not, if I was developing new skills or not, how was, for example, my knowledge in different fields. And I will show you a dashboard that I have, and I'm going to share with you how to do it. But the most important thing for me was to realize that if I had more skills, I was going to be able to do more. For example, when I learned how to do graphic design, that allowed me to create my business without the need of a graphic designer. So I did all the designs myself. Because I knew how to do video, I could do the videos myself. So I saved a lot of money, and I could focus a lot on the other things that are needed. Because we all live in a situation where we need to use our resources properly. And a lot of business owners or a lot of entrepreneurs want to create something, but they have a huge problem, is that they think that they cannot do it alone, and they just start giving away chunks of the company. For example, 20% stake to this person to help me with something, 30% to this other person. And at the end of the day, they have zero control over their company. And also they are hiring, or they're giving stake to people that are not really providing so much value to them. So I recommend everyone to consider the possibility of building businesses that they have control in. And if you have the skills, then you can do a lot of things your own. And if you cannot do it your own, then you can collaborate with others and hire others. But skills are definitely going to allow you to move faster and move better. So why do we want skills? Well, first of all, because it makes you happy to have a new skill, that's for sure. It allows you to develop, and it gives you a lot of self-confidence, but also you can provide more value to the others. For example, imagine that you are able to speak a new language, then you can do translations, for example, or you can do interpretation. It can help you to get a job. There's job offerings that say clearly, we need you to be able to code in Python, or we need you to be able to do video editing. So if you have that skill, it's going to help you a lot, okay? So skills are incredibly useful, and in our education systems, we normally don't talk about it. And what we talk about is knowledge. So we want to really have as many skills as possible. And there's so many things I want to share with you guys, and I don't have enough time. So what I'm going to do is share some of the ideas of how to develop a skill faster, okay? So first of all, you don't need to know everything of that skill. Let's say sales, okay? If you are able to sell, you're able to convince someone to support you, or someone to buy from you, or an employer to give you a job. But you don't need all the skills, and you don't need to have the highest level of that skill. What you need is to see, okay, where am I at in that moment? For example, imagine in English or whatever other language, right? This is the level you have. This is the goal that you have, which is a very specific part of the language. Imagine that you want to learn a language to do business. Well, you don't need to understand everything of the culture. You don't need to be able to watch a movie of history or sci-fi and understand every word. That's not your problem. That is definitely part of the language, but it's definitely not what you need. So by focusing on the kind of knowledge and the kind of skill that you want is going to allow you to have a way more effective process. And also, there's a new circle here for your potential. One thing is what you would be able to do if you spent all your day, every day for 10, 20 years trying to do, that's the potential. And the other thing is your goal. So don't mix these two, and don't mix the top performance in the world, let's say Leo Messi playing soccer, don't mix that with your potential, with your goal, or with where you are at, right? So the whole idea is that we need to first choose the skills that are going to help us based on who we are and what are our goals. And secondly, we need to be very clear on what are the limits of that skill. I happen to speak Chinese, but I don't read Chinese very well. And that is because for me, it was more important to be able to communicate. And because of that, I was able to learn way faster, right? And if that happens in any other thing, I am not amazing in most things, but at least I have the skill that allows me to get things done. Okay, so don't over commit to having a level that is going to take so much time, because in reality, you don't need so much. You just need to make sure that you're closer to the center. I would recommend everyone to learn coding if possible. I was talking to a friend yesterday and she started to learn Python, and I'm sure that she's going to achieve a lot of stuff thanks to that. Coding is so important in the new world, and it's going to become even more important. So please, if you don't know what new skill to learn, probably coding is going to be one that's going to be important. Money management is vital also to make sure that you spend less than what you need, and also that you are able to generate more income. Creative skills, like for example, Photoshop, Premiere. So this is all for video editing or things like that. We all need to promote ourselves. So imagine that you want to be a coach and then you want to promote it. Then you need to design a flyer, and then you have to put it on social networks, and then you have to have people joining. Or you want to promote a video, then you have to be able to edit it. So if you're not able to use these kind of softwares, then you're going to be incredibly limited. And whatever you do is going to look awful, because image matters, and if you don't have a good graphic design, that is going to affect your business. So my recommendation, to be able to at least play a little bit around these softwares. Being able to use Excel and databases is of course useful. I am not very good at it, but I can tell you that there's a lot of people selling services online, and what they do basically is they master Excel and they sell that service online. And there's people from all over the world that are calling them and say, hey, I have these Excel shit, but I don't know how to change this or how to add this formula or whatever it is. And then they make money out of that. And it's a service exchange that is really, really useful. So Excel is something used by everyone. And if you're really good at it, it's definitely going to give you an edge. Human interactions are crucial. There's so much we can learn about how to interact with people and how to develop empathy. I would like to spend more time here, but maybe if you have questions on how to do more public relations and how to do that, let me know in the comments and I will go back to you. Social impact, I think it's very interesting to understand better the Sustainable Development Goals by the United Nations and work in sustainability and sustainable development. There's a huge space here, and that's what we're going to do from now to the rest of my life. How to create projects, how to do websites, I will show you now in a second, personal branding, and emotional skills, like for example, being able to adapt to different situations, being able to innovate, being able to be diplomatic in different situations. Okay, so there's a lot of emotional skills that are very, very important in the new world and that people don't talk enough about. And regarding sales, just a couple of tips. The first one, if you don't know what a sales funnel is, just try to understand. If you want a job, if you want a client, or if you want a husband, you want to have a full pipeline. A pipeline is the, let's say, the different levels of closeness that you have to actually closing a deal. So let's say that you want a husband, then you can know different people, and then of all those people, then you only want one, right? Imagine that you're looking for clients or you're looking for a job. If you only look for one job, what's going to happen is that you have the interview and then you wait, and probably you're going to wait for 2 or 3 months. They're not going to say anything. And then suddenly the job goes for someone else and you are devastated and you have no other options. So what you need to have is the pipeline always full. And this means that you have to put potential clients all the time. Like imagine 100 potential clients here. So even if only a small part of them end up becoming your clients, you make sure that you will have clients. What you need to do, talk to more people, sell more, to more people, and you will be able to close. Now, the better the process is, the better the reputation is, the better all that is. Of course, you have a better percentage of the people that comes into the funnel to get out and to actually become your client. But the most important thing that I want to share is that you need volume here. You need to talk to a lot of people. So if you want to provide services to small business owners in your community, talk to all of them. Please do that and tell them that you can help them, and be always present with them. The second thing is there's a lot of systems that allow you to track potential clients and potential deals. This Salesforce is the most known one. There's many others. I just recommend you to use it. Also, this is the Sales Training University by Grant Cardone. He's a sales training expert, and the one that I think it's going to help you the most. He has like 8 million followers on social media. So the guy is huge. But the most important thing is, because of the crisis, he opened his sales university for everybody for free for 30 days. Okay. So he has like 1,500 videos on how to sell, how to understand the buyer, what's the sales process, how to close, how to master the cold call, how to follow up. So all these things are absolutely vital, and I really recommend you to go and check it out. So it's Sales Training by Grant Cardone, and it's for free right now. I paid $1,000 for it a few years ago, and it's so useful. It has helped me a lot. There's a lot of marketing channels. I'm not even going to get into them, but the idea is that you have to be creative and you have to be everywhere so people know you, and you're always in the offense, and you always have the possibility of bringing new clients or new potential opportunities. Also, you know that there's YouTube tutorials about anything. So please don't say that you need a teacher or that you need a very expensive course or whatever. If you're going to learn any skill, you have everything you need on the internet. I have spent literally thousands of hours watching tutorials of any software. So if you want to make an app, if you want to use Excel, if you want to do graphic design, if you want to play piano, whatever you want to do. Even there's one thing that's called Masterclass that is great. They have amazing, remarkable, celebrities teaching you how to do what they do best. So for example, Natalie Portman teaches you acting, and it's not very expensive, and it has the free trial too. So any skill is available everywhere. Just go and try to learn it. Okay? Even things that you can do for fun. I want to talk also about mental health a little bit, because we are all pretty stressed with this situation, and in general, we don't allow ourselves to feel sad. We get mad at ourselves because we're not always happy. Sometimes we just have different things that are worrying us. And I have been thinking a little bit about this, and I created a small Excel document, and I am sharing it with you later, that I think can help a lot. The main idea is that we all have a lot of things that are worrying us. It may be something economic. It may be something of our physical appearance. It may be something of our family, something social, but we all have them, okay? We all have things that are around our head that are bothering us. And sometimes we are more uncomfortable because we have a lot of them. And sometimes we're kind of like more at peace. But that does not mean that they are not there. They are there. Sometimes they are sleeping, but they are there. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because a lot of times it's a matter of just try to think of what's going on in your life. You just write it down, and you see that in reality, there's a ton going on. I can give you an example. Have you ever said, to someone when they were asking you if you were not feeling okay, like what happens? And the answer that you give is, well, it's a lot of things. Well, it is a lot of things. And when I write down the things that sometimes happen, there may be like 30 or 40 worries that I may have at the same time. Maybe I'm worried about, the health condition of a family member. Maybe I'm concerned about my economics. Maybe I'm concerned about, not being handsome enough. I don't know. But we all have concerns. Sometimes they may sound stupid. Sometimes they are very important, but we all have them. And the fact that no one shows them and no one talks about them does not mean that we don't all have them. If you could share with everyone what is going on your head every single day, we would probably all think that we are all crazy, right? But we always show the best part of us, and we always go on Instagram and look amazing. But again, we all need to have figured out how to deal with all the problems, insecurities, fears that we all have. Because if we're able to have a good relation with ourselves, if we're able to become our friends, our supporters, our fans, then life is much better and we can do much more with our lives. One thing that I love is this graph of a 90-year human life in weeks. Just think of how many weeks you have. And I don't know where you're at. This is 25 years old, this is 30 years old, 35, but wherever you are, you have more time, but you have to really use it because time flies. So I think it's a beautiful representation. And I think that we need to understand that we need a long-term plan, because a lot of things, well, basically everything that matters requires a very, very long time. It always requires time to position yourself, to develop a project, to learn a skill, to do whatever you want. You need time. So please be patient, understand yourself, understand your limitations, and just try to be fast at doing things, but with a long-term perspective. Allow yourself to grow in the long term. This is something that I do every single day, which is write why today has been a great day. And I think that every day is amazing. And even if something bad happens, that does not mean that it was not a great, important day or something that could make my life better in the future. So many times we think that something is bad because it looks like it's uncomfortable or because it's not something that we tend to associate as something positive. But the reality is that when we look at it with perspective, it actually is positive. And even this crisis that we're living in could lead to a better future, could lead to a more solidary society, could lead to better international institutions, to better leadership, or it could lead to a better healthcare for the whole world. So everything that can look bad may be good too. And if we write every day why today has been a great day, we will see a lot of the beautiful things that happen. We will be more aware of our lives. We will be able to deal better with a lot of problems, but more importantly, we will see things with perspective. Everything can be positive if we turn it to. And also, I have a tattoo since like 13 years ago that says, today is the first day of the rest of my life. And I think this is a beautiful message to all of you. Every day is a new opportunity to start again. Regardless of the problems of the past, regardless of the things that, we're not happy about, even the problems that we're all stumbling upon right now, the most important thing is, what do we do now? How can we learn from the past to create the future that we want? Okay, so I think that that's beautiful, and I try to think about it every day. And I think we have another 25 minutes. I'm going to go really fast over something, and then we'll go to Q&A, okay? So one thing that I do, and I believe you're probably going to think that I am crazy, but I just think that this can be useful, so I'm going to share it anyway. So I think that we all have our operative system, right? And my operative system is COS, so Carlos Operative System, and I try to upgrade it every now and then. I try to be better. I try to be better at everything that I do. I still suck at everything, but I try to improve, okay? So there's still hope. So the idea is that we check how are we developing, our life, our relations. Are we being the best we can be? And we just check and try to improve. So this is an example. So this is the COS, or the operative system that I have right now. X means kind of like the goal that I have. So I want a better life, a better mind, better skills, better knowledge, and a better body. And if I achieve these things, then I upgrade my system, okay? And I think this is nice because we are all like characters of a video game, and we can all improve our skills. We can all improve our resources to better deal with the problems of life. I think habits are very, very important. And there's this tool, it's called Habit Bull. I will share it with you if you want. So the idea is to check every day if you're doing or not the things that you told yourself to do. For example, you want to drink more water every day, you want to do exercise every day, or you want to be kinder to people, or you want to practice something every day. Or, for example, you want to make sure that every day you're reaching out to new people to develop your projects. Okay, and one second, I want to show you my dog because it's calling me. And I think you guys are going to like her. She was calling me and trying to bite me and participate in the call. So I wanted you guys to meet her. So tracking your habits is really useful. Okay, and this app is amazing. I do it every day. And for example, I track how good my relationship with my wife is, for example, and I see it every day. It's like, okay, today, how was it? And I have the luck to be married to an incredible woman that makes me incredibly happy, and so we're always fine. But if we argue for whatever reason, then I just put a didn't do it well today, right? So tracking your habits for whatever you're doing is going to help you a lot. And this is the dashboard that I want to share with you, and that I think is amazing. I know that I look crazy, guys, but I think it's useful, so let me know. Okay, so all these things are dashboards that allow me to track my life, okay, and different skills. So for example, this one is, I know it's very small, don't worry. I just want you to get the concept, and I will share the Excel document later. So this is for public speaking and for sales and for public relations skills. So I list all the different parts of that skill. Imagine in sales, there's one part that is how well you present your project. There's another part that is how well you negotiate. There's another one that is how well do you close deals. Okay, so that's one part. In public speaking, okay, how good I am at speaking in one language or the other, or how well do I read a document while looking at the audience. How good is my non-verbal communication? Okay, so all those things can be tracked and can be improved, and you have to be honest with yourself. If you are bad at it, it's just whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You just try to move forward. So don't lie to yourself, right? And I use these for everything. For example, for my company, do we have enough clients or not? How is our promotion? How is our relationship with our clients? How is our operation? Do we have enough of what we need? So having this is really, really useful, and I have it for every skill, for every knowledge. For example, for the languages that I'm learning, for am I focusing more on marketing or in sales, or who am I right now and who do I want to be? Okay. So this is an example of a dashboard. Imagine that you're trying to learn these skills, or you have these goals. And then what I have is a little slider here. And if you're under 40, then it means that you're bad. If you're over 40, you're kind of okay, and you're in yellow. And if you're over 70, you're in blue. So this is good for your skills, for your goals, for your knowledge. Just think that you have to improve, and that if you improve, you're going to achieve way more. And these are these stabilizers that I was talking about. So you have the worries, fears, insecurities, problems. Imagine family or personal, work-related, social, physical appearance. Okay, we all have some physical appearance thing. Okay, if it's not because you're losing hair, it's because you're too tall or too fat, or because your skin problems or whatever it is. We all have these guys, right? So what I do is, when I'm not feeling okay, I come back here and I check and I see, okay, it looks like I am incredibly concerned about these guys, right? About these things. And then there's some things that you cannot do anything about. For example, if you are very short, well, life is complicated. Again, life is not fair. You are as short as you are, and you are not going to be able to change that. So just knowing that allows you to focus on the other things, because you cannot change it. But when you see, for example, imagine, I think I'm not making enough money. I think I'm not being a good enough person. I am not taking care of my mom. Then you can just change your behavior and have a new habit that is call mom every day and be a better son, for example. Okay, so I hope this also helps. The Excel is going to be after. And also this is to understand that we all change and we all have different states of mind, and it allows you to track and to see what is the best version of myself for this new period. Okay, so there's a ton that I want to share. This is all the video game thing and the skills, and there's so many other things, but I think that we have time now for some questions. So I'm going to just leave the PowerPoint so you can check it with more time. You can see all the beautiful slides here, and let's go to the questions if you have any, and if not, I can continue for a couple more minutes.
I think at the moment we don't have any questions that have come through. I'm just going to invite everybody who's attending this to please leave your questions. There is buttons at the bottom of your screen for question and answer, or you can then send them through chat, and then we will give them over to the professor. So while we're waiting for questions, you can carry on.
Awesome. Yes. Great. So there's another thing that I wanted to share with you, because it's vital both for making money and also for developing projects and to actually progress. And I don't know if you're familiar with the concept of crowdsourcing. Right now, there's in Africa 5 million people that are selling services online. What this means is that they are providing service to people all over the world through platforms like Fiverr.com, Freelancer.com, and others. The way it works is that you upload a gig, which means you upload a task that you can do. And then someone that has a company or someone that is working for someone, they just go to the website and check for the specific tasks that they need to get accomplished, and they can find your profile and they can hire you. You do the task and you get the money. Okay, so the idea of crowdsourcing is that I source to other people my tasks, and that I, as a service provider, I can get clients uploading my tasks here or my abilities to these platforms. Okay, so this is a very, very, very good way to deal with the crisis right now, because you can get clients everywhere. It's not only getting clients in your own community, but you can reach clients everywhere. And I know that most people don't use these platforms right now. I mean, there's millions of users, but there's a lot of people in the West, for example, that they don't know this exists. And whenever I show them, they think it's crazy that there's so many amazing people working for this. So one example would be, I need to do, for example, a research project. I need to do a translation. I need to do, for example, management. Look, this is an amazing example. She is one of the service providers here in Fiverr.com. And she says, I will tackle your criminal justice papers, starting for $4.80 in 2 days. So you have problems because you need to or understand the papers, or you need to translate it or whatever. And then you contact her, and she has different services. The basic one is $5, the more advanced one is $40, and the premium one is $81. And what this does is she gives you unlimited revisions, and she helps you with all the extra things. But the whole concept is you define this for yourself. So if you're going to be selling services to other people and looking for clients, then you just figure this how you consider is going to be more attractive. For example, in her case, she's from Kenya. She has an introduction about herself, and she has these 3 different price ranges. Okay, so starting for $5, but then you can go up to $80 per gig. Okay, another example would be, for example, translation. As I showed you before, there's translation that start with $5, but there's translations that are way more expensive. Regardless, you put your service, and the key here is to do as many as possible, even if you have to put a lower price in the beginning, so you have good reviews. Reviews are very, very important. So please, if you can offer any service whatsoever, I will encourage you to use this to promote it. But also, if you do any kind of project, if you're working, I don't care who you are, you need these kind of services. They can help you write an article. They can help you write an ebook. They can help you with a master thesis. I don't think you should, but there's this possibility. You can have your logo design, your branding design. You can have people doing your Excel documents. You can have people doing amazing stuff. And it's cheap, and you're not just helping them. You're giving them opportunity that they are working for you. So it is absolutely fair. It is absolutely sustainable. And it's one of the things that we're advocating more in WA. And I would love all of you to participate in these kind of platforms, both to get what you want done and also to provide services like programming or website development and so on. I think we have a couple of questions.
We have a number of questions. There's one in the chat box as well.
Okay.
Can you please provide us the name of habit tracker app or emotional intelligence tools?
Yeah, sure. So the habit tracker is Habit Bull. It's like the animal, and I can also look for it here. Habit Bull. Let's see. I think it's this one. This one is really cool because you can have also the statistics. How well have you been doing? You can put a daily goal or a weekly goal or things like that. So this is the app. Okay, this is really, really good. I use it every single day. This is awesome. Also, there's another app that I have here on the presentation that is called Daily-O. Let me try to get back to it. One second. Where is it? Sorry. Okay, so there's another one. Here, okay, so here we have a lot of productivity apps. Let me show you one second. Okay, this one. So Daily app is to track your mental states and your activities. So for example, it asks you, what have you been doing today? So imagine, I've been selling, I've been designing, I've been learning languages, I've been doing whatever, right? It allows you to track what you have been doing, and also it gives you the statistics of everything. So in this case, it asks you, how are you? Are you feeling good or bad or whatever? And also, what have you been doing? So I always use this one, and it's really cool. Also, other apps that are really cool, this is Trello. It gives you the opportunity of doing tasks, is for tasks, okay? So you manage the task and the projects that you have, and also you do it in this way. So you have like different departments or different stages or different concepts. So for example, in this case, this is a sales Trello, and I have, for example, different sectors. So imagine these are clients in healthcare, these are clients in, I don't know, tourism, these are clients in other fields, okay? That's one. This one is the Asana app, is another task management app that is really, really useful. And this is awesome, guys. You really want to use this. Okay, so there's one thing that is called integrations and automatization. So the idea is that you have a system that is called Zapier, or if this then that, and what allows you to do is to connect different apps. So for example, when I imagine write a post on Facebook, you put it automatically also on Instagram. When the weather is bad, you send me a message to tell me to get my coat. If I do something in this software, then something in this other software happens. And it's really easy to use. So for example, whenever I receive an email with whatever text, send it to my task management tool. If I receive something in my calendar, put it in my other place. Okay, so I don't know if I'm explaining myself properly, but Zapier is the app to connect apps. There's many online tools, and you can do automations depending on what you need and what the workflow that you need. But this is really a time saver, and it's really, really useful. And there's 100,000 things that I would like to share. So first of all, don't forget that you can contact IE Business School in West Africa in the office. They're doing an amazing job. And also IE has offices everywhere in the 5 continents. I am very grateful for the opportunity to be here with you guys, because otherwise it would have been impossible to connect, and also to Africa Family Firms. But having IE also in Africa is going to allow you to connect better with a business school that is really, really, really strong and has an alumni network that is absolutely incredible. So that's good. Also, I want to send you virtual hugs and kisses and love, and put here my contact details in case anyone needs anything from me. And I will continue with questions if we have more. Okay, let me see. I'm sorry for being clumsy with the system. Sorry, it's the first time.
No problem. We have a question here.
Okay.
In fact, let me just group Gladys has got 2 questions, so I'm just going to give them both to you at the same time.
Okay.
She says, being a consultant and a trainer, I face challenges of getting solid projects and constant cash flow of clients. How do I improve? That's question number 1. And question number 2, I'm in Zimbabwe. We sometimes face connectivity challenges. Mm-hmm. And so given this epidemic, which requires the online presence, what are the easy online tools that can be used for online training?
Okay, so a couple of things. Regarding the first question, I think they're all fantastic and very important and used for everybody else. The first thing is, you as a consultant or as a business owner, decide what is the package that you offer, what is the kind of service that you offer, and how is it priced and how is it delivered. So if you are struggling with just one-time projects and you want to have a constant flow, there are services that you can offer that have a retainer fee. So the idea would be to say, these are our packages. One-time project, $1,000. Monthly fee of $500, and I work for you during all the year, right? So you can put the different types of offers. You imagine that it's a short-term project, long-term project, continue fee, or just one time. If you do one-time projects, I recommend to charge way higher. And one thing that I would recommend to all of you is to just directly, whatever price you're putting, multiply it times 2 or 3, just right away. Because first of all, there's a huge price myth. We all think that people buy it because of the price. It's wrong. They buy the person, like the person that you're the person that you're going to do business with. They buy the reputation that you may have. They buy the possibility of actually achieving their goals or solving their problems. So they spend a lot of money in a lot of things. And then when we go, and normally I work with big companies, and I am concerned of their budget, and I just say, no, just give me whatever you can, just give me $200. The reality is that this same person is making decisions of millions of dollars every single day. So when I have asked for $1,000, $10,000, and even $100,000, the answer has been the same. I can promise. They can always tell you it's expensive, and you can put a number, another zero more, and they're going to say that it's expensive anyways. So it doesn't really matter. The most important thing is that you make sure that the price is as high as you can, because with less projects you can lead better, and also you have the one-time project that is charged higher, and the long-term continuous fee that is less money, and you offer all your services as a, let's say, virtual assistant, consultant that looks for information, helps with anything that you can. Every service that you have, put it there. The way we do it, for example, we do marketing projects, okay? And normally clients may want to do a one-shot event. And I always tell them, a one-shot event has less effect than doing one event and doing marketing every day through social media, plus public relations, plus many other things. And I'm not going to charge you more for each service. We just have it in this way. If you want to collaborate with us, everything that we have is yours forever until we stop. But if you only want to do an event, then we only can do this for you, and then it's going to be over, and it is way less value. Okay, so think of, I only do this thing one shot, expensive, or we work together for a longer time. That's the first question. And the second one about connection issues. Well, there's a few things that you can do. Whenever you do have a good connection, please have everything ready so you can download. There's a lot of things that you can download, and it's not very heavy. Like for example, there's documents, there's websites, there's many apps that have the possibility of having the content stored for offline mode. What I mean by that is, for example, in YouTube and others. So what I mean is, prepare everything that you want to learn from. Imagine if you're talking about learning, okay? Everything you want to learn from, you have it ready. And when you do have internet connection or a better connection, or when you can go somewhere that has a better connection, you download as much as possible, and then you have that offline. So you don't have to access the online network or whatever. You just get the content that you already have as video or as image or as audio, okay? That is one way to go about it. Of course, internet is definitely a very, very important tool, and if you don't have it, it's definitely going to be a handicap. And I think that one of the biggest goals that we should have for Africa in general is that everybody has a good connection, because it is going to make people prosper way, way easier. But besides that, again, just trying to concentrate all the offline work when you're offline. Prepare what you will need to do whenever you get a better connection, and then when you are connected, imagine if it's for 1 hour or for the time it is, just try to implement as much as possible. I would do it like that, and when I am traveling, I do that. So I answer a ton of emails, and then I'm offline for 1 day or whatever it is, So I think it's unfortunate but there's ways to download the information. Do you have any other questions?
Questions here. I'll just pick two so we can conclude. From Raj, great presentation, great information, but too much to take in. So I'd love to have a presentation. A number of people have requested for a presentation. Would you be happy to share that with?
Absolutely, that's the whole point.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you so
He
much.
says, how do you find time to do all of this? What's your best tips on time management?
Okay, so first of all, this is 12 years of work, or 13, and I'm 31. So it's like, this is a whole life of trying to figure out. And I'm definitely very far away from being where I want, but I can tell you that, I try to improve the way I do things. I think I suck really at many things, even in time management, but there's some things that are useful. One of the concepts that I want to share with you is this one. I'm going to sound crazy again. I'm sorry, but I think you're going to like it. So I created a term that is called mushi. And mushi means the thing that is perfect to do in one moment, depending on your mental and physical state. What about that? Okay, so 1 second. I think we're going to get it better here. 1 second. Okay, so I will look for it later. So the idea is that at any given time, you are mentally prepared to do something, but you may not be perfect for doing something else. Imagine that you want to write a proposal, but you're very tired and you're very uncomfortable, and it looks like a very, very big task for you at that moment. Well, what I try to do always is to ask myself, what is my physical state right now? How am I feeling right now? And I try to go with the flow. So if I want to talk, I go talk to people. If I want to design, I go design. If I'm okay to write, then I write proposals or emails. So I'm always doing things, but I am always doing the thing that is kind of like less annoying for me, or that I feel more comfortable with. And this has happened also, for example, when I learned how to dance. I'm bad at dancing, but when I used to learn how to dance, I remember that sometimes my body was really clumsy and I was really off the rhythm. And so what I try to do is, if I'm really off the rhythm, if I'm really bad at dancing right now because my body doesn't want to, or I'm tired, or it hurts, I try to do something else. So I try to go with my flow. I try to go with my body. So I think by doing that, it allows you to be focused for 1, 2, 3, 4 hours, and you don't feel that you're working. You're just enjoying whatever you're doing. Because if you are doing your own project or working for someone else, normally you have different tasks. You have many different things that you have to do. So just try to do the things that are more comfortable for you at any moment. And if you're tired, just stop. Sometimes you just need to stop for a little while. I don't know if that answers your question a little bit. That's what I try to do the most, basically.
Okay.
Here we are. Look. Okay, this is the thing. So I have different states. Okay. One is that I am loving nature and feelings, and I go out and I just breathe fresh air and I feel it. Sometimes you're in a beautiful place and you just don't feel it. You're just like there. Well, so when I'm sensations, it means that I'm kind of like in that situation. So it's better to just go out and enjoy. Sometimes I'm creative and rational and I have ideas. So it's a great moment to just go and throw out all the ideas that I may have, because maybe for 1 week or 1 month or 1 year, I am not going to have ideas again. So just because I have them, I don't take them for granted. I write them down. Sometimes I'm more physical. If I am like really, really physical, it doesn't make sense to write a proposal because I want to run. I want to get out of there, right? This other, for example, that is this one thing that I call zero state, which means I am useless. Okay, I literally cannot do anything. I look at the Facebook feed. I waste time. I procrastinate. I literally don't do anything useful. So what I do when I am in zero state, I try to get out of that, and I see, okay, well, what can I do? How can I get out of this? Because it traps me. Okay, and I think we all have some times that are like little productivity. But sometimes I have the opposite, which I call super me. So sometimes I am in a position where I can do anything. So I just see what is the biggest priority. And since I have the strength and the energy and the willingness, I go try to tackle it. I don't know if this answers anything.
Yes, I think
that
was very helpful.
Okay.
One last
any other question?
Yes. One last question. I'll just give comments as well.
Okay.
This has been a great session, very, very helpful. Thank you, and stay safe from Nepal.
Thank you so much.
And also, Can you recommend some self-help or any books which you think can provide different perspectives?
Okay, regarding self-help, I think there's one thing that is more important than any book, which is to write. We all need to understand ourselves. We all need to know what's going on in our heads. And sometimes, people recommend you meditation, but the problem that I have with meditation is that what it tells you is to just let thoughts come and go and not do anything about it, right? And for a little while, you just put your mind in blank and just do nothing. And the reason why I don't like that is because you're not solving the problem. If you have something that is worrying you, regardless if it's a big deal or not a big deal, if it's in your head, it's in your head. So don't think that it's going to go away. It's there. And it's okay. Don't get mad at yourself for having it. My recommendation would be to write. I showed you that tool to put all the things that are bothering you, but just the fact of writing allows you to understand yourself way better. Have you noticed that when you think and you have a lot of issues going on, it's like it's hurting you. It's like hitting your head, but then you think about one and it reminds you to the other problem and then the other problem, but it feels like you're not in control. But when you write, it stays there and it's limited. There's a number of things that are happening, but it's limited and you can control it. So the first thing, if you cannot sleep, if you're worried, if you want to feel better, the first thing, please write and understand yourself. Just put anything that comes to mind. It's like, today I am super annoyed because my husband didn't do this. I am very, very mad at my boss because he didn't do that. Or I am not sure if I'm going to be able to make it because this, or whatever it is. Or my back hurts, or I feel lonely, or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. Just write, because you're going to understand yourself better. That's the first thing. Second thing, I think with mental health, the most important thing we need to understand is that we all go through these kind of things, okay? There's different levels, and sometimes you have a condition that is really difficult to handle. But even people that have zero health conditions in terms of mental conditions, we all struggle in some things. So by knowing that you're not alone, by knowing that you're not the only one insecure about this or concerned about that, really makes you feel more at peace. Because it's not like, okay, because there's other people having the problem, I don't have it anymore. That's not the problem. But we have a tendency of blaming ourselves, of judging ourselves. So don't judge you. You are an amazing human being. You have your flaws, you have your strengths. If you have something you can improve, go improve it, but forgive yourself and support you, because you are the only person that is there when you wake up and when you're having a shower and when you're having issues and when you're ill. You're the only person that is there. Don't have a bad relation with yourself. You are the biggest friend you can have. And because you understand yourself, you can go back and think, okay, when I, imagine that you shouted to someone or you did something that you regret. Regret is poison, and it hurts you, and it will diminish your life forever if you keep thinking about that. And what you need to do is to just understand that at that point of life, you didn't know any better. You were feeling stressed or anxious, or they were putting you in a situation that you didn't like, or you were tired, or maybe your hormones were doing whatever. You don't know, but the reality is that there are reasons, and we can understand anybody if we really think about it. Empathy is vital to understand why other people do the things they do. And you could even understand someone that is really awful and someone that you consider a bad human being, but you can understand why he's doing the things that he's doing. Now, what I want you is to be empathetic with yourself, to understand that if you were, if you didn't do an amazing, performance in whatever meeting, it's understandable. You were tired, you were concerned, you didn't know, you were not used to that, you didn't have the skills, whatever it is. So first of all, as I told you, write and understand yourself. And second, forgive yourself. Don't ever judge you, and just be your supporter and try to help yourself to become the person you want. Be proud of the things that you do, and always try to add things to your life. Be proud of the things that you do and the things that you are, instead of going to all the things that you are not and looking at them and thinking, I should be more, I should be like the others. We all struggle with a ton of things. It doesn't matter what they're doing. Just think of what you are doing now? Can you become a better person? Can you be more comfortable? Can you have a better life? And focus on trying to improve that.
Thank you so much, Professor Carlos. That was really, really rich and so helpful. From the comments that we've had and the questions, it's obvious people still have some questions. So how can they get in touch with you to
so I'm going to put
information?
Well, first of all, again, thank you so much for the opportunity, guys. I'm so happy to connect. So please do add me on WhatsApp, which is my preferred tool, if you can. If not, we can go on LinkedIn. And what I want is to put the contact slide here so you can all add me. And I would love to become friends and to help you in your journey. And if there's anything I can do, please do let me know. Sorry, these are my contact details. This is my phone number, my personal one. And I really, really expect you to continue in touch and to let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Guys, thank you so much for the invitation.
And Professor Carlos also has provided a toolkit available for download. So we'll share the link for that with the replay for this video in the email tomorrow. So if you are registered for the conference, you'll get that automatically. But if you are not registered for the conference, please go to the website, www.africanfamilyfarms.org, to be registered so you can get access to those tools. Thank you all so much.